Digital Service Tax in Nepal. The Inland Revenue Department of Nepal formulated the procedure related to Digital Service Tax 2024, which came into effect on 16 July 2024. The procedure related to Digital Service Tax sets out the provisions related to registration, filing of tax returns, and deregistration applicable for non-resident digital service providers. Scope of services. Under the procedure related to Digital Service Tax, digital service includes the following services rendering to the customer, which essentially requires information technology and are provided automatically through the internet with minimal human intervention. 1. Advertising services. 2. Movies, television, music, over-the-top, and other similar subscription-based services. 3. Data collection services. 4. Cloud services. 5. Gaming services. 6. Mobile application-related services. 7. Online marketplace services and services and goods provided through it. 8. Supply and update of software. 9. Sales of data collected from Nepal resident person. 10. Download of data, images, and similar services. 11. Education, consultancy, skill development and training services. 12. E-book, e-library, and e-newspaper. Basis of taxation. Digital service tax is levied on non-resident persons for digital services provided to consumers in Nepal for a transaction value of more than NPR 3 million per income year. Rate of tax. The rate of digital service tax is 2% on the transaction value of digital service, excluding indirect tax value levied in Nepal, provided by a non-resident person to consumers in Nepal. Applicability. The income returns filed under the procedure related to digital service tax shall not be subject to tax as per the Income Tax Act 2002. Regulating authority. The large taxpayer office is the regulating authority to administer the digital service tax. Registration for digital service tax in Nepal. For individuals who can be taxed on the basis of procedure related to digital service tax in Nepal should complete registration within 30 days of exceeding the transaction threshold. The procedures to obtain a permanent account number for non-resident persons are set out below. Step 1. Submit an application along with the relevant documents at the large taxpayer office via an online medium. Step 2. The large taxpayer office will issue the registration certificate in the prescribed format within 7 days of receipt of an application. If a non-resident person has already been registered at value-added tax (VAT), no separate permanent account number is required. Further, a non-resident digital service provider is required to file an application for a permanent account number within 30 days from the date of exceeding the transaction threshold. Recording of transaction. Non-resident digital service providers must maintain an account on an accrual basis and disclose transaction value in Nepalese rupees. Filing of returns. Non-resident digital service providers must file tax returns and pay the applicable tax amount at the large taxpayer office via online medium within 3 months of the end of the income year. To deregistration. If a registered non-resident person intends to deregister for any reason or close their transaction in Nepal, such person must file an application at the large taxpayer office. Upon receipt of such application, the large taxpayer office will notify about deregistration or reason for not being deregistered within 3 months. Audit of digital service taxation in Nepal. Tax Administration Office can conduct audits on non-resident taxpayers to ensure compliance with the digital service tax regulations. If it is found that a non-resident person has understated their tax liability, a penalty of 50% of the concealed tax amount is imposed. The non-resident digital tax-paying individual will receive an initial tax assessment order, after which they must submit supporting evidence in response to the assessment within 15 days. Hence, a final tax assessment is made by the tax officer.